You got him, your Godzilla of the Truth in America. Let's talk a little football now that the World Series is over and my Astros got beat, and I'm getting out of town before I have to endure one of these ridiculous parades. So let's just go to football, make my life better this morning after blowing another lead. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about VMI-Keydet football. Coach Scott Wachenheim is VMI-Keydets, 4-4 overall, 3-2 in the conference. Get this. Who'd have ever thought on Halloween, October 31st, that VMI would be only one game out of being first place in a conference. They square off at home, 1:30 kickoff, 1 p.m. our pregame show this Saturday against Western Carolina University Catamounts, WCU, Western Carolina, 0-5 in a conference, 1-7 overall, and game that VMI should win and is going to win, and that's going to really put him in really good shape here going into the final couple of weeks of the season. Coach Wach, great to have you with us, sir.
It's great to be on, John.
All right, you're playing an 0-5 team. I know you don't like the whole letdown thing, but you guys have got to win this game. So, but Western Carolina can be a little bit deceiving. They've lost 5 in a row. You're at home. I mean, this is a game you're favored to win, right? I know you don't read the lines, but you guys are, a significant favorite to win this game with your offense. Sum this game up for us. What do you have to do to come out with a W, Coach?
Well, I think, our team has had a, great start to the season, and we need to continue to build on that and get better and better. And, again, this is another opportunity for VMI football to make history this year. Western Carolina has beat us 15 games in a row, and so this is an opportunity to end that streak. It's also an opportunity to win 4 conference games for the first time in 40 years. 1979 was the last time my football team won 4 conference games in any conference. It's also an opportunity to win 5 games in the season for the first time in 17 years, 2002 being the last time. So, the first thing you do to prepare for this game is you present the opportunities that this team has to do to make history. And then, it isn't hard to realize that Western Carolina is an outstanding opponent. And, I hate the term should win. I think the term is more we can win this game. But should is that's a lot to put on a team. This team's very talented, very well coached. Their quarterback, Tyree Adams, was the preseason All-SoCon Conference Player of the Year. He literally last year rushed for almost 200 yards against us and threw for over 200 yards against us. And when he's healthy, when Tyree's healthy, he is capable of taking over a ball game and leading his offense to score a lot of points. On defense, Western Carolina is very young, but they've got 3 guys in the top 10 in SoCon and tackles. They've got a young man at corner, John Brandon III, who's second in the SoCon in interceptions. So a very worthy opponent. Special teams wise, they do a little bit different. They got a left-handed kicker and a left-footed kicker and a left-footed punter. And also defensively, they're the number 1 pass defense in the SoCon and the number 3 pass defense in the nation, only giving up 156.6 yards a game. And we got to be careful. The Cats start fast. In the last 4 games, they've scored a touchdown on the first offensive possession. So there's a lot of things to get our players' attention, to get them prepared and ready to play. And we've had an open week to prepare, get rested up, and we should be at our best this Saturday.
Well, it's one of these games where I like the idea of getting a fast start, just kind of getting your fans in, getting them out of the game early, because it's always tough. You got Furman next week, and it's, look, we all say, don't look ahead, play the game. All you have to do is focus on the game on Saturday, because, as you say, get 4 wins in the conference, haven't done that since 79. But you're going to have one of the biggest games of the season coming up next week at Furman, but you got to win this game before you get there. But just so everybody knows, I mean, think about this. The first time that VMI has a chance to win 4 games in a conference in 40 years. And if they beat Furman and Chattanooga, they're going to be the conference champions potentially with 6 wins. I mean, you're having a great season. I got a text here from one of your alumni, Tom in Newport News, says, can you ask Coach Wach how can we be sure that he stays at VMI and doesn't get recruited to a bigger college after this season?
Well, John, I think, again, my focus is solely on the players on this football team. I love and adore each and every one of them. I've recruited every one of them. They're really playing hard right now, and their will to prepare has been outstanding. I always wanted to be a head coach, and I always wanted to do it at a place where the young men were done playing football, that they were going to go on to bigger and better things, and VMI is definitely a place like that. And, my number one focus right now is getting this team ready and prepared for Western Carolina, and that's what my attention is fully on, and that's what our team's attention is fully on, is the Western Carolina Catamounts and Tyree Adams on offense, their opportunistic defense, and trying to get that fourth win in a conference and trying to get that fifth win overall and do some great things here at VMI this season.
All right, Coach, look, you've kind of went from the beginning of the season. I had alumni texting me about the season was going to be another disaster, and now they're texting me midway in the season and saying, hey, be sure that VMI re-signs Coach Wach because we don't want to lose him. I mean, this is the turnaround you guys have had is something else. So how do you get Udinsky to prepare now? I mean, what's he gone, like a bajillion games here without an interception? How do you get him to prepare for this young defense? I mean, we assume you're going to be spraying the ball all over the place, right? Without giving up your game plan, but one would assume that based on the fact that their secondary is young.
Well, one of the things I believe in offensively at the college level, I believe you have to have a system offense, and that's why I went after Coach Shepard and was very blessed to have the opportunity to bring him here. And him and Coach Shepard and the offensive staff have done an outstanding job of staying true to who we are. We're an air raid offense, first and foremost. That's our system. We have our version of it that Coach Shep and the staff like to do. And so we stayed true to that. And, what we do with Reese is what we do every week. We watch game film, we practice. And, again, it doesn't take hard. You look at one statistic, Western Carolina is the number one pass defense in the SoCon, the number 3 pass defense in the nation. They're only giving up 156.6 yards per game passing. And so we have to look on how we take advantage of that in our throw game so we stay true to who we are because, we have to be able to throw the ball and do what we do to run the ball as well. We can't be a one-dimensional football team. And so I think Reese is a tremendous competitor, and competitors always work to be their best, and then once they hit their best, they work to better their best.
Take us back, Coach, to when you came in and you made the decision to really radically change VMI's offensive system, and you said you believe in an offensive system in college football. I mean, you kind of came in, you looked at your players, you looked at the program, your situation. That was not VMI's MO offensively, as everybody knows. There's been some growing pains, obviously, getting to where you are. But what was the light that went on that said, I need a different system than we've had here offensively? Just quickly walk us through when that happened.
Well, I'm a Air Force Academy graduate, offensive tackle in the wishbone style of offense.
Right.
I actually coordinated at Rice an option style of offense. And when I came to VMI, the first thing I wanted to do was put in the option. I really did. But, Al Cobb was here. He's a tremendous thrower. Aaron Sanders was here, all-time leading receiver here at VMI. And Dane Forline's another great pass catcher. Ryan Swingle, a tight end that could catch. And so it made the best sense to be a throwing team. So the first guy I looked to was Brian Shepard, but I couldn't get him hired here. And so I hired coordinator Dustin Ward, who was very successful at Division II Concord University, running at that time the run-pass option offense that was kind of new and not a lot of people knew what was going on. So we did that year one, and we were very successful doing that year one, and then offensively. And then year two, our offensive numbers took a dramatic dip, and because I think teams caught up to what we were doing. And then, Al decided not to come back for his fifth year. And so we were very young on offense, and the strength of our team defense was our team was going to be defense. So that year we looked to be more of a running team and, keep our defense off the field and maintain time of possession and slow the game down. And, Pitt was having a lot of success with the fly sweep stuff, so we incorporated some of that. But unfortunately, we learned a painful lesson that season that, we weren't just able to run that style of offense and move the chains. So after that season, I said, hey, we got to go back to playing fast and scoring points and throwing the ball around. And again, as fate has it, or as God wills it, however you choose to look at it, Coach Shepard was available, and I was able to hire him and bring him here and his style of the air raid offense to VMI. And as Mike Leach says, the air raid offense closest resembles the wishbone offense, and I agree with him. You stretch the field 52 and a third yards horizontally and 30 yards vertically. You get the ball to 5 different players on any play. There's no design in each play who gets the ball, so the quarterback can distribute the ball to any one of 5 players. And so I think for the players that we can recruit at VMI and the desire of every other college in the nation to get quarterbacks that can run and throw, I think it's easier nowadays to get a pure thrower at quarterback that can run this style of offense out there. Some of those guys like Reese are left out there. You wonder, how is this guy available with the few scholarship offers he had? And it's because guys are looking for guys that can really win the game running at quarterback. So you can get a difference maker at quarterback that can throw it as accurately as Reese does.
Does Reese have a football future beyond Baby-Keydets?
I believe so. I think Reese does. I think you'd be crazy not to look at a young man that is this accurate with the football, this good a leader. He is a great athlete. He was a 3-sport star in high school. He played lacrosse and basketball, was a point guard on the basketball team. And so I think he's very athletic. He makes great decisions. His arm strength is adequate. And so, I think NFL scouts will be coming to Lexington next year to check out Reese Udinsky and see if he's a possible fit for them.
Well, his decision-making, his intelligence, his ability to read defenses, get rid of the football quickly, accurately, and not make a mistake. I mean, how many passes has he gone now without an interception? I mean, it's been a lot.
A lot.
We
I don't know.
Can't even add it up.
So. I hope he throws about 50 more without an interception.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Coach Wach, we're out of time. I really want to thank you for being with us today. Big game Saturday. It's at Lexington. It's at home. You want to check it out. Kickoff 1:30 across the John Fredericks Radio Network, Richmond, Hampton Roads, and also the VMI Football Network, WLES AM 570, 97.7 FM Richmond, WMPH 1010 AM, and 100.1 FM in Hampton Roads. And our pregame show, 1 o'clock, kickoff 1:30 in Lexington, WCU, Western Carolina, Catamounts. VMI going for their 4th win, biggest since 40 years ago. It's even hard to imagine where I was in 1979, right? I was still in college back then, Coach. It's been a long time.
I was a senior in high school. I was a senior in high school with long hair down to my shoulders, gold chains around my neck, dancing to the disco beat, man.
Coach, you got to send us a high school picture with that hair down to your neck, man. We got to see that.
I show it to my players. It's unbelievable. My high school senior photo, and then my photo as a dually at the Air Force Academy. Big time difference.
Coach Scott Wach. Scott, Coach, good luck Saturday. John Fredericks Radio Network.